Hi. A little while ago, in fact it was at the beginning of 2014, I was talking to someone in the Canary Islands, that's just off the west coast of Africa, who actually wanted to buy a house. And, you know, she'd been trying to buy it for quite some time and couldn't get the money together. And I said, well, why don't you use the manifesting techniques to just create the money, or to create you owning the house? And interestingly, she came up with a lot of excuses for not doing it. And what I want to do is just list some of these excuses and to see how much sense they make to you. So the first thing she said was, if I manifest or give a manifestation to have 100,000 euros, that's about $130,000 right now, to buy the house, what happens if everybody on the planet does the same stipulation? There won't be enough money. Yeah, this is the what I call the accountant's trap. You see, in accountancy, there's an assumption, the basic assumption of accountancy is completely contrary to reality. And there's a basic assumption is that at some point in the calendar, suddenly your business stops. And everything that's happened up till then needs to be analysed. And then somehow the business restarts after this date. So you get a cut where, you know, suddenly nothing happens, or the world changes. You literally, you move to a different planet. And this fallacy is that money moves in a straight line and at some point stops. Which of course, as we all know, is total nonsense. What we experience every day is something very, very different. What we experience is that money moves in a very, very complex system of curves and vortices and helixes, and that's how money moves. It comes into your pocket and goes out again. I mean, if you were suddenly to get today $130,000, what would you do with it? Would you dig a hole in the garden and bury it? This is what accountancy mentality says you would do. You would dig a hole in the garden and bury it. And so this $130,000 is no longer in circulation, no use to anybody at all. And this is exactly what this woman was saying in Tenerife, in the Canary Islands, that suddenly all the money would stop. But even she couldn't see the hole in her own logic. And that's, well, what does she want the money for? She wanted it so that she could give it to somebody else. She didn't want to keep the money, she wanted to buy the house. You see what I mean? If you get $130,000 today, you're not going to sit on it, you're going to buy something. That's what money is for. Money is a representation of value. That's all it is. And the value is not in the money itself. The value is in what you do with it. So, you know, you buy the new car, or renovate, decorate the house, or whatever. You don't dig a hole in the garden and bury it. So this idea that she had that if everybody did it at the same time, the economic system would collapse. No, it wouldn't. Even if everybody wanted that amount of money, which is a not very sensible idea, they would not all want it at the same time. They would not all be doing that manifestation at exactly the same time every day. Also, they would not all have exactly the same degree of resistance so that everything would arrive at the same time. No, it's not going to happen. Different people have different expectations. There are many, many people who have zero interest in having that sort of money. Their life has a very different purpose and direction. There are many people who have specific things that they would immediately buy with that sort of money. The money would continue circulating, it would not stop. That's the point I want to get across to you. The money would continue circulating, and the only difference is that instead of $500, you've got $100,000. That's the only difference. The volume of money that flows through you increases, but it doesn't stop. Now, what other objections did she come up to? Well, one was, oh, that wouldn't be responsible because I haven't earned it. Well, who says that you have to earn what you want? This is a world of abundance. Everything has already been given to us. We just have to take it up and use it in the way that we want it. So who is this other being that has the right to tell us what we deserve and don't deserve? Doesn't exist. I know there have been a number of organisations which have tried to tell you that they do have the right. God has appointed us to tell you how you should live. But is that what God has done? Does this planet really look as though it was intended to be governed by such a principle that a very, very tiny minority tell everybody else how they have to live? Does that look reasonable to you? If it does, how is it that they almost all recognised spiritual masters are outside of the religions and they don't tell you how you should live? They make suggestions and they help you to see why it is to your advantage to do so. And they personally, they don't take anything. Who is one of the richest people on the planet? The Pope. Why? Why should he be? Is there any divine injunction that says the head of this organised church should be the richest man one of the richest men on the planet? No. Is there any source which says there's a divine injunction saying this person can only be a man? No. None of this is real. It's all a fantasy created to amuse us. And the truth is, if you use your natural abilities, you can have anything and everything that you want. And everything that this and lots of other people have come up with as excuses for not doing it are just learned excuses for telling you how you should live instead of encouraging you to be and live the way you want to be. And that's what this book is about. It's helping you get back on track to remember who you are and what you can and how much you are really worth. The entire universe belongs to you. Enjoy it. Thank you.